Hi there, it's Saturday the 18th of March 2017. This is Andy Rowe on trendfollower.co.uk. Many thanks for joining me on this video. What I'm going to do in this video is to look at the different asset classes that I like to follow and see whether I want to be in or out of the asset class. But before I start, let me just make a quick disclaimer. This video is just about what I do. It's not financial advice from me to you. So let's get started and have a look and see what's happening in equities. So looking at the graph here, I can see that the close price at the end of the week was well above the MA52, so I'm quite happy to remain invested in the fund that I used to be exposed to equities. So I'm having a look at the graph of the UK equity fund that I've used for half of my property exposure, and you can see how the price this week closed up above the MA52, having closed last week below the MA52. So it's chopping around a little bit. I did come out of that market, close that trade, but now I've got a signal to go back into it. So I should be going long UK property on Monday. So the other half of my property exposure is in a property investment trust that has exposure to both UK and European property, and this investment has done okay the past couple of weeks. It's been rising, so quite happy to stay invested in this fund. No action necessary. Okay, so now I'm looking at gold. Now, those of you that have been following my videos will see that this graph is rather different to previous graphs of gold, because I'm tracking gold priced in sterling here. So at the end of the day, with this investment, if I'm not in gold, then the money's going to be in sterling. So it makes sense for me to be tracking the price of gold against sterling, and the price of gold in sterling is up above the MA52, so I'm going to remain invested in gold. Okay, so what about commodities, I hear you ask. So here's the graph of the commodities fund that I track for exposure to commodities, and it had fallen down quite a bit previous few weeks, but this last week it's risen up quite nicely, so I'm quite happy there. So no action for me to take with commodities. So let's sum it up. Shares remain a buy for me, property remains a buy for me, gold remains a buy for me, and commodities remain a buy for me. Bonds, as you know from my previous videos, always stay invested in my portfolio, in my trading plan. So there we go, everything's on a green light at the moment. But what will next week bring? You'll have to come back and find out. Bye for now.